Alright guys, I'm back on this Corvette today. This garage find little beast I found in town. And, well, I got some new rubber, so I think we should put it on this car. These tires are definitely flat spotted. They're definitely not good. I don't know if you saw my video about how to get the locking lug nut off, but there's supposed to be a locking socket for the locking lug nuts in this car, and of course it's not there, it's vanished. So I had to use alternative methods to get the locking lug nuts off, but I did finally get them off. One thing I did notice, and let me make sure that you guys can see what I'm talking about here when I show you. Let you guys down a little bit. Alright, there we go. So one thing I noticed, actually let me turn my camera just a little bit. You don't need to see my mug necessarily. Alright. The one thing about these Corvettes is the wheels are actually directional. So you can see this wheel here, the corners pointing forward, and this wheel came here, this wheel here, and that one came off the passenger side, and it's just the opposite, it's pointing that way. But when you flip it around and put it on the driver's side, I'm sorry, not the driver's side. When you flip this around and put it on the driver's side, the point is pointing forward. And I think this is the correct way to put these on, because as I look at this, this slopes downward, and I think what this is designed to do is to pull air in here to cool the brakes. So these wheels are made to actually cool the brakes off. So these wheels are directional, okay? And that's important because we got to remember which wheel goes on which side. Now the other thing is, that I found out, is the new tires that I bought are also directional. Make sure you can see them. No, you can't. Okay. Let me turn it down a little more. So here's the tires. And these, in case you're wondering, a Corvette, these Corvettes are supposed to take a 255 50 16 tire, but the only ones I could find were like soft compound racing tires for like $200 or $220 a piece. And of course I didn't want to spend that much on tires. So I guess nobody makes a 255 50R15 anymore. These are supposed to be ZR 15s, but they don't make those either. So I got these Zex ZE950AS all season tires. AS stands for all season. So they're 245 50R16. So the difference is this number here, this 245, is the width of the tire in millimeters. So this tire is a 245 millimeters wide, which is about 8 or 8.5 inches. And these tires, these 255s, they're on the car now, they're about 9 inches or so. But if you compare them together, side by side, or I mean not side by side, but next to each other, if I put them like that, you can see that there's about an inch difference in the tires. So, oh no, you can't see because I didn't have it down far enough. Dang it, sorry. Put it down a little more. Okay, try it again. So if I line up the back side back here, up here I've got about an inch difference. So these tires here are about an inch narrower than these tires. But like I said, I couldn't find these anywhere except a high performance soft compound tread, which driving on the highway wouldn't last any time at all. So I bought these 245s, and I think they'll work just fine. They're the same height. You can see that. And they're a 50 series. Both of them are 50 series. Of course, they're both the 16, so they'll go on those wheels just fine. They'll work just fine. But the thing I've got here is, like I just said, the wheels are directional. Well, the tires are also directional. If you look at the tire here, where's it say it at? Right there. See, it says inside. And on this side, I believe, yeah, this side here says, I can get it where you can see it there, it says outside. So these tires, I have to make sure that I put these tires on so that the outside is properly aligned with the wheel, and that way when I put them on the car, they're correct. And here's the other thing about them. So let me look here a second. Hold on, I'll be back in a second. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I was thinking that the tread on these tires was, two of them were reverse of what the other two were, but when I put them all together, let me make sure I'm telling you guys the truth here. Oh, again, you can't see what I'm doing. I think the tread, I was thinking the tread was going the opposite way on two of them, but it looks to me like it's not. I could have sworn it was. Outside. Ugh. Yeah, no. Outside. Outside. Okay. Now I guess the tread's all going the same way. So I thought the tread pattern was switched on two of them because they'd be on the opposite side of the car, which is kind of weird. I would think it would be switched, but I thought they were directional as well. But they are in one sense, that you got to put the outside towards the outside of the car and the inside toward the inside of the car. So I have to make sure that I mount them on the wheels correctly, and I have to make sure that I put the wheels back on the right side of the car. So I think what I'm going to do is I've still got these two wheels on the car. I haven't taken them off yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two wheels over to the machine, my mount and balancing machine. I'm going to go ahead and mount them and put them back on the car. Mount them and balance, put them back on the car. That way I know they're on the right side, and then I'll take these two off and do them. But before we do all that, let's do something else here. Let's take a look, because I haven't even opened the box yet, because I was waiting on you guys, and we've had some really cold weather here lately, so I haven't been out in my shop, and I've had stuff going on in my house that I couldn't be out here anyhow. But the other day when I got my delivery, if you watch my other video, you'll see that I got a set of Hedman headers. And these are the 68440s. You can see that. So let's open these up and see what they look like, because I have no idea what they look like. But they are definitely going to make a difference as far as way this car runs. Definitely going to make it run a little better. Going to give it a better range of torque, and hopefully a higher RPM range of torque. From what I understand, the tuned Ford engine that's in this thing, it peaks out at its top RPM, or top horsepower range and torque range pretty low, like around 4,000 or 4,500 RPMs. It peaks out. But with this, with these headers and a couple other modifications, it should raise that a little bit, so it is hopefully I can it doesn't fall on its face, you know, at 4,500 RPMs. Hopefully I can get it to, you know, 5,500 at least, and raise the torque range and the horsepower range a little bit too at the same time. But let's look at these headers, because I've never seen these before. So let's look what they look like. I don't know what they look like. I have no idea. I know they're not super expensive. I found them on eBay. Well, that's nice. They give you gaskets. That's good, because a lot of companies don't give you gaskets anymore. But I found these on eBay, and I want to say they were like $279, but eBay's having like a special sale right now where you get 15% off everything automotive related. So I think I ended up paying like $240 for them, and that was free shipping. So, and they came to me quick. They got here in like 3 days. So here's the driver's side one. And again, these aren't race headers. They aren't super expensive. I know there's, you know, better ones out there than these, but I've also seen on the Corvette forums where guys have used these and they fit really well. But I mean, they're really good, really nice. You can see it says Hedman headers on there. Made in the USA, which I like. This paint is just exactly what I said. It's paint. So most of it, if not all of it, will come off when I put them on and run them for the first time. But there's the driver's side one. And these are actually really pretty short, but that's because the Corvette, you know, all the Corvettes, they sit low to the ground. So these headers are going to tuck up underneath that car pretty tight. So that's the driver's side. And I don't know if we got any collectors in here, but I got a feeling we don't, which sucks. Oh, no, we got something in there. We got something. And here is the passenger side. Now, I've been told, all right, I've read online again that, and again, it's got the Hedman really nice logo on there. That's kind of cool. I've been told that some guys are able to install these without taking the starters off. Some guys are not able to install them without taking the starter off. So I don't know if that's the case or not, but we'll find out when we get to it. I'll probably end up just taking the starter off anyhow, just to make it easy, because I'd rather, I like using the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So I don't have to fight stuff, because I don't like fighting stuff. I've been doing this long enough to know that it's easier just to take something off than it is to cuss and scream at it. So I'll probably take the starter off anyhow when I do this, but I don't know for sure. I'll probably try to tuck it up in there first to start with, you know, just to see how it does. All right, let's see what else we got in the box. So we got gaskets. We got a pair of nice looking headers, and they're heavy. They're good, thick metal. They're not them cheap Chinese ones you buy. And we've got a set of, we got some beautiful stickers here, Hedman headers. I can put those on here on the car. And then we've got collectors. We've got the collector rings, and I don't see collector gaskets. Oh, you know what? We don't need gaskets. Those have a rounded end. The headers, I don't know if I showed you that or not. Let me show you. They've actually got a rounded end on them. See how rounded that is? So the collector goes over the top of that, and as you tighten it up, it pushes against this flange here and pushes the collector against the flange and seals it up. So you don't even need gaskets with these. That's cool. I like that. So they're gasketless. Okay. So again, we've got collectors, and these are, that's probably a 2.5 inch pipe. And to be honest with you, this thing goes back into a cat back exhaust, and from the back side of the cat, it drops to, or it goes up to, I think, 3 inch pipe going out the tailpipe. But from the Y pipe up here through the catalytic converter is 3 inch, but the pipes coming off each one of the headers are like 2.5. So I think if I probably ran a 2.5 inch exhaust from the collector over to the pipe going up the middle, then I'd probably be fine. I could run 3 inch exhaust. I don't know if it'll fit or not, but I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it. But we have, and these are, they're 2.5 inch here, but you can cut them back, into here if you have to, and you can open them up, or I can even go get a piece of 3 inch exhaust pipe, and I'd have to try to get a bend in it like that, or maybe they sell collectors online that are 3 inch. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but those look like 2.5 inch pipes. And honestly, for this engine, I mean, this engine is basically stock. The only major thing that I would consider doing to it, and I don't know if I'm going to or not, is to put a different cam in it with more lift. But I also read online and talked to some of the guys on the Corvette forums, and they say if you put 1/6 roller rockers on these, it really wakes them up because it gives you more lift. Just doing the different ratio, because the factory ratio is a 1.5 ratio, 1.5 to 1. So if you do 1.6 to 1, it gives you a little more lift on your cam. And I might just try that no matter what. I mean, it's only 9.5 to 1 compression, so I'm not going to hurt anything. Even if I put a bigger cam in, I can still leave the 1/6 roller rockers on it. But I might just try it with the 1/6s in the stock cam first and see how it does. But this is going to be probably the single most biggest improvement I'm going to put on the car, is to put these headers on there. Okay, so let me put them back in the box, and we'll go from there. We'll get set up. Tell you what, I'm just going to pause the video because I got to move you guys over to the tire machine anyhow. So let me get all this put away and get everything set up on the tire machine, and we'll go over there and we'll put these tires on. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So we're ready on the tire machine here. I had to let the compressor fill up before I could use this machine. I want to talk about something real quick before I do this tire change and stuff. You guys, have you ever heard of the term flat spotted tires? You may not know what that is. You may have wondered, how in the world is a tire flat spotted? Well, let me show you, because this is a classic example of what it means to flat spot a tire. Okay, so let's take a look at this tire real quick. Let me get this camera off the mount for a second so we can get a better view here. So this tire, this is one of the back tires that I was smoking off, and it's still got decent tread. There's the wear indicator, so it's still got decent tread on it. It's still a usable tire. But the problem is these tires went flat over time, and supposedly one of them was completely flat, the others weren't, but they were definitely flat enough to cause problems. Because if you look at this tire, this was a rear tire. I was told the front one, for the front passenger side, was the one that went flat, all the way flat. But I want you to look at this right here. See how round that is and kind of even that is? Now if you go up here to the top, see how like pinched off this is right there? See that line right there? And if you look at it from this angle, you can really see it. See that? See how it's, you can actually, if I back up, see, you can see, if you come up the tire, you can see where it's smashed in right there, or where it's pushed out. Because the tire was flat right here, and it was pushing down, and it collapsed the sidewall and caused the tire to compress itself. And what happens when you do that, now if you look at it this way, see, if you look over here, see the roundness of the tire? Now if you look at that, see, that's almost flat. It's almost square across. Not quite, but almost. And you know, you're rounded over here like a tire should be, and there you're not. So that's what is called flat spotting a tire. And once it happens, you can't get it out of there, because this tire has got, it's a radial tire. It's got steel belts inside of it. So once them belts get compressed and they take that shape, they're never going to come back again. You can air them up, and I did. I aired these up to 60 pounds of pressure before I drove the car, hoping that they wouldn't vibrate too much. But you saw on the test drive, it shook like crazy. And I drove it a couple times after that. I actually drove it a couple days later. I drove it about 20 miles, 10 miles away from my house and 10 miles back. And I was able to get up to about 55 miles an hour, as fast as I could get up to, and then it started shaking again real bad. So the flat spot came out a little bit, but it's never going to come all the way out. So that is what they call flat spotting, just so you guys know. That's what it looks like. There's really no way to save a tire after that. They would make really good tires for the burnout pit, especially the front ones, because they got really good tread on them. But other than that, they're junk. So that is what we call a flat spot. And if you look, you could probably see it now that I've shown it to you. You can probably actually see the difference. And there's actually, it almost looks like the tread is starting to separate right there. And you got to be careful driving a car on flat spotted tires, because you can have a blowout. And of course, on a Corvette, it's the body's fiberglass. You have a blowout, you're going to destroy the body. So I took a little bit of a risk driving on these, but they had really good tread on them, and I felt like I didn't try to, you know, go crazy speed or anything like that. So lucky one didn't blow out when I was doing my burnouts either. But they're definitely not something you want to try to fix or save, because you can't. So if you if you go get a car that's been sitting a long time and it's got flat tires, or even if they're low, if they're way down a little bit, you probably ought to plan on putting tires on it, because you're not going to be able to fix this problem. All right, guys, just wanted to let you know what that is. Thanks. Talk to you later. Okay. So now that we got everything back over here and we're ready to go on this tire, I'll show you my tire machines I got. I got these tire machines from bought them off eBay, and I don't even know how to pronounce that. It's Xinkong, Zingkong, I don't know, whatever, Zingkong, King Chong, whatever, Ding Chong. So I bought these two machines, and you can buy them as a pair on eBay. You can buy them individually. I did a couple videos on them before. I don't know what they cost now, but when I bought them, I paid $2,300 for them shipped to my house. And that included shipping and everything, and they're heavy. That tire machine there, the mounting and dismounting machine, it probably weighs, I'm going to say probably 300 or 400 pounds. This one here probably weighs maybe 180 or 200 pounds. But they're very heavy, but I paid $2,300 for them shipped to my door, and they work really pretty good. I can't complain a lot about them. The one thing I don't like about them, hold on a second. Camera leg's collapsing on me there. The one thing I don't like about them is on the tire dismounting machine, it does not have a way to blast air onto the rim to pop the tire on the rim when you're putting a new tire on. But I've got a method to fix that. I don't know if we're going to have to use that method today or not. These are 9-inch wide. I believe they're 9-inch wide rims. Let me get a tape measure and measure them. I think they're 9 inches wide. So they're pretty wide. The tires are pretty wide too, but I may not be able to get them to pop on the rims. But if I don't, then we'll have to use my alternative method that I have. But first of all, let's get these apart, get them broke down, and we'll do a measurement on them, see what they are, see how wide they are. I want to take the weights off first. If I can get in there and get it off. There we go. I'm going to save those, especially aluminum rim weights. I always save them because they're more expensive than regular weights. So, and these tires are only balanced on the back. They're not balanced on the front. So hopefully the tires we got are decent tires. And we have to pop out these center sections. There we go. Pop out the little cap there. All right, let's put this on here. Let's see if we can get it to come off the rim. It's been on there a while. Hopefully it won't be too difficult to get off. My air compressor may kick on. If it does, I'll try to talk louder, or maybe I'll have to wait till it stops. I don't know, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. Popped off the back pretty easily. Let's try to get the front now. You got to be careful with these tire machines. You don't want to damage, especially aluminum rims. You don't want to damage them. There we go. Popped off there. I'm going to flip it around just to make sure it's. And another thing you want to do if you're using this machine, you don't want to put your valve stem here because you might tear it off. And if you want to reuse your valve stem, you can't use it if you tear it off. I don't know if I'm going to reuse these or not because they're old. I'll look at them when I get it apart, but we'll see. I don't know. All right. I got a pretty big compressor. I got a 3-cylinder compressor that's 150 psi. So if you're going to use one of these machines, you got to have a pretty heavy-duty compressor on it to be able to use them. And the cool thing about these is you can adjust how far this arm comes, so you can stop it. So I got to adjust a little bit. I can adjust it to where this is not actually touching the rim, so it doesn't damage the rim. I can put it away from the rim just a little bit. All right. Okay. See how easily these things come off here. I don't know if it's going to be easy or not. Let's see. That came off fairly easily. I want to be careful not to damage my rim. Yeah, we're good. These are some stiff wall tires. I gotta try to get it to come up higher if I can. There we go. There we go. All right, now it should come right off there. Yeah. There we go. That's beautiful. Okay. And once you set this, you don't have to move it. You just release that, slide it past the tire, and the tire comes off. And now you can really see what I mean when I say flat spotted. See that? See how short that is compared to the top? I mean, it's just smashed way down. And you're never going to get that out of the tire. It's permanent. So you can pretty much throw those tires in the garbage. Now, let me grab a tape measure real quick. I need to know how wide... Oh, wait. Actually, I don't need a tape measure because I have this that came with my machine that I can use to measure the width on these with. If I can get it up in there. Well, let me do this. Release it for a second. And this thing here, you just set it like so. And that says 10 inches, but they're probably 9 or 9.5 inside. And I was told that the wide rims like this, or I should say I read online, that the wide rims like this are on the ZR1. So maybe these are ZR1 wheels, maybe they're not original wheels, I don't know. I'm kind of half tempted to try to clean these up a little bit, but they aren't too bad, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'd like to maybe clean on them a little, but you know what? Let me go get some aluminum polish while I'm here. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, I got my aluminum polish here. Let's do a little polishing on these wheels, just out of curiosity, or on this wheel, I should say. I'm not gonna make you guys watch me polish all 4 wheels. That'd be crazy. And you don't need to see me. You need to see what I'm doing. So let's zoom you guys in here where you can see really well what I'm doing. And let's get out the old Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. That's what I use on aluminum wheels. It works really well. Let's get that out and let's polish on this wheel just a little bit and see what it looks like. I don't know if it's going to improve it or not, but it's definitely worth a try. Let's see, I need a screwdriver. I gotta get something to stir that up. It's kind of separated from sitting so long. There we go. All right, let me stir this up. Get it mixed back together. You guys ever used Mother's before? It's good stuff, man. If you got aluminum wheels, whether they're aftermarket or factory, this is good stuff. Now these wheels, I believe, are anodized clear, so this may not work very well on it, but I'm going to give it a shot just to see what happens. It's definitely worth it to me to try. All right, let's try it and see what happens. I'm not holding my breath because I believe they are clear coated wheels. I'm sure they are, because if they weren't, as long as it's been sitting, they'd probably have some damage, a lot more damage to them than they do. They probably look a lot worse than they are. But I don't know, I mean, I'm getting some black off there, so maybe it'll do something. I don't know, we'll see. While I got it on the tire machine, it's a good time to do this because it's holding it in place. I don't have to hold the wheel, so it's kind of nice that I'm able to just rub this on here without having to worry about the wheel moving all over the place. It's kind of difficult to get down in here. What I really need to do is get like one of those foam balls that you use to polish wheels with and use that on it. And I probably have one around here somewhere, but I don't want to get that in depth today. I'm just trying to make it look a little better if I can, since I got them off the car and don't have tires on them. They're easy to get to. All right, now I did not do the outside, just the middle here. So let's clean them up and buff them a little bit and see if we notice any kind of a difference. Well, maybe a little bit. It definitely did not hurt them to do this to them. Like I said, one of these days down the road, I'll take them off and lay them on the ground with the lug nuts off of them, so their lug nuts aren't in the way, and I'll get one of those foam balls on a drill, and I'll go to town with them on that. But they are anodized. They are clear coated. So I'm probably never going to get out of them what I'd like to get out of them. But yeah, I mean, you can see the difference between the inside and the outside. So let's go ahead and do the outside since we got this far on it. Let me zoom out just a smidge so you guys can see better. There we go. Okay. Mother's polish has been around for as long as I've been alive. I can remember as a kid using it. Back when I was in my teenage years, when I first got involved in working on cars like this, the old stuff, I fell in love with the aluminum slot wheels. I don't know how many of you guys like the aluminum slots, but I love them. And if you've ever noticed when I am in my shop, if I'm making a video in here, if you ever get a glimpse of the back of my shop, you'll see I got a rack in the back of my shop with tires on it, but I also got a rack in the back of my shop that's got, along with the tires, it's got about 20 or 30 slot mags back there, several sets of them. Because if I find them somewhere on a garage sale or on Facebook Marketplace, it used to be Craigslist back in the day, but I've been collecting slot mags for years. I think they're cool. I really like them. And someday when I get to the point where I can't do working on cars anymore because I'm too old and decrepit, then I'll sit there and work on the wheels, polish them and clean them up, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Of course, by then they probably won't, nobody will want them anymore, but it'll be something to keep me busy for a while anyhow. So, alright, let's go over these spokes one more time. Trying to get them cleaned up. I got a bunch of polish down there I don't need down there. Okay. And while I'm in here, what the heck, let's go over this one more time. This is the main part of the wheel anyhow. Try to make it look as nice as I can. And I got a little bit of polish on the rag still anyhow, so I'll just go over it one more time. The thing about mothers is if your rag turns black like that, you know it's working. It's getting the oxidation off the wheels. And even though these wheels are coated, I'll guarantee you they're oxidized, at least a little bit. The clear coating does protect them, but the bad part is, and I noticed on one of the wheels, when the coating starts peeling off, then they look really bad. And I do have one wheel where I've got a small area on it that the coating is coming off. It's not terrible, but it's there. So, but it is what it is. I mean, these wheels are nice looking. They're not bad. And I'm sure they're very expensive to buy. You know, what'd be really cool is if I could take these wheels to a machine shop and have them put them in a lathe and run a lathe over them, just very light, just enough to just take a very thin layer of the clear coat and just a very thin layer of aluminum, and then polish them. And I bet they would look gorgeous then. I'm sure when they were brand new, they probably looked beautiful, but I don't even want to know what it would cost to buy a set of these wheels in like perfect condition today. Probably a couple $1,000, I'm sure. But you can also do what I'm doing here. You can, polish them up a little bit. They may not look brand new, but I definitely think that looks a lot better than it did before I started. What do you guys think? You like it? Yeah, it's got some nice shine to it. Said it's not perfect, but it's not bad either. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed my polishing video. Talk to you later. Bye.